Hello everybody, this is Anna, also known as Ananita on Ravelry and Annalena on Instagram. My last podcast was a week ago. We keep this weekly schedule. That's so freaking awesome. And yeah, this is a knitting and crocheting podcast. Lately more knitting. Well, actually only knitting lately. But I guess when it gets warmer there will be some crocheting again. And here is Benny trying to... Wait. Benny, hop. Sit. Sit. Do you want a podcast today? Ja, willst du heute podcasten? So, well, that is Benny who is video bombing this podcast episode today like nobody's business. Yeah, he is 3 years old, a West Highland White Terrier, and yeah, it's Benny, my dog. He's like, he's funny. He's very funny and a little stubborn, but he's a terrier, so yeah, you know how to deal with this if you have a terrier at home. Okay, this episode is about one finished object I showed you before, but I did some finishing on it. Another finished object you haven't seen before, and 2 whips. Let's get right into that, I would say. You have seen this Weasley pullover already, but now I want to show you that I have woven in the ends. So you might think now, well, what is the deal with it? It's only weaving in ends, Anna, come on, don't bore us. But I was a little nervous about weaving in ends because there were so many. I think there were 20 to 30 ends to weave in, I would guess, and not so much space. But as you can see, it's duplicate stitch, not intarsia. As you can see nothing. I hope so. The way I weave in ends, you can't see anything on the front. Wait, it's like, I don't know why the camera does this always. Always when I come closer with something, it's like bam, blowing out. I don't know why. So, as you can see, it's not bulky or anything. No ends sticking out. And it's pretty neat on the back side. I weave in ends, I think in a very unprofessional way. I take the end, poke the needle through some stitches, but not under the loops, more into the strands of the loops, and then backwards 2 or 3 times through the same thread. So it is so secure. I don't use the smileys and umbrella technique from Stacey Perry. I don't imitate a pattern or something. I really go into the threads. I split the stitches 2 or 3 times over about 5 stitches or 6 stitches, and then cut the end. So that is very secure. But to do this on such a little spot, only around here, there aren't so many places to do this, and if you weave in 2 or 3 times into the same spot, it could get bulky. But I want to say no, it doesn't get bulky. It's absolutely fine and pretty, and I will have to wash it again because I have washed it before I did the duplicate stitching, and that's why it looks a little wavy and I don't know, not so neat, you know, not really even. And I'm looking forward to wear it so much. It's still very hot here. I think we have 30 degrees Celsius again today. Yeah, I am so ready for fall. So definitely ready for fall. You know, if you're watching my podcast for a longer time now, you know that autumn is my ultimate favorite season of all seasons, and the least favorite is the summer. I know many people get crazy about summer, going swimming, eating ice cream and yay, having fun, but I suffer during summer. It's not my favorite season. No, not really. Okay, that was the finishing of a finished object, or the polishing of the finished object you have seen before. Now we come to the real finished object. Drum roll. I can't imitate a drum roll, so I'm sorry. I have finished, I can't believe I have finally finished the washed out. Here is the beast. It's way too humongous to show on the screen completely. I will insert a video here and try to show the shawl in detail. The last time, the ultimate time, I will say again, that I have used a homespun house, chocolate fondue, soft sock, Madeleine Tosh, Blue Bonnet Highway, some kind of sock yarn, I don't know the name of the sock yarn base. And my favorite color of these three is again a homespun house, again soft sock, but it is digital bath. I think it's soft sock. It could also be plump merino. I'm not sure. I have lost the tag. I'm not really sure, I'm sorry. But this color is so pretty. I mean, look at this. And the viewer who commented on the last video was so right. I was worrying about the lace pattern being too geometrical, but I haven't blocked it too aggressively. I used a wire and I have threaded through the picot bind off through these holes and pulled it a little. I had no pins. I have all my pins in school, I guess. I couldn't find one single pin, so I had to do it, yeah, I had to wing it in a different way. And it came out very floral, as you can see, not so geometrical. I thought it would look like triangulars under each other, but it's very pretty. It's very pretty. But I think you will see it. That's easier to see. Okay, after my return to Austria, I was attending the seminar. I was relaxed again. No travel anxiety or travel mania, I don't know. And I could easily concentrate. So I was knitting through the lace pattern very quickly because it is indeed very easy. But although I don't watch TV or listen to audiobooks during knitting lace, even easy lace, because it's so easy to be one stitch off by counting incorrectly, and the rows were very long and tinking back wasn't an option for me, and ripping out would be even worse, because with yarn overs to rip out you are asking for trouble, my friend. Don't do that. Only tink back or use lifelines. I can recommend reactive lifelines instead of proactive, because to be honest, who does proactive lifelines? We are all so lazy. But reactive lifelines with yarn overs is also a thing you really have to concentrate and focus and think about. And yeah, so I wanted to do it all correct at the first time knitting it. So yeah. So how can you wear this beast? Yeah, I would just traditionally like a normal triangular. So you can wear it like this, and then you have very long ends. Maybe you like that. I guess I will wear it to be warm, to be honest. That isn't something I will wear at school during the lessons, because it will come off. I guess it's always in my way, and working with children who have scissors in their hand and liquid glue and all that jazz, it's not very smart to wear something tangling down, because it might be get cut off or ruined with the glue, or I don't know, felt pens or something. So you should wear it wrapped around twice or 3 times. Yeah, but it is very pretty, and I think it will be very warm, so I could use it as a normal scarf over my coat. I have half of a skein of the 3rd color left. Maybe I can hold a double with another color and make a matching hat out of this. We will see. But I have also ordered 4 skeins of this colorway for a pullover. Maybe I will have something left and will knit a hat out of that leftover. Or I will take some blue or brown yarn from another company and make a matching hat. But this is so pretty. It's because of the colors. I like these colors so much together. Brown, blue and cream or white together is so pretty. I don't know what it is. I will take it off now because it is very hot. Very, very hot. So I can say it is a very easy pattern. It is really very easy. But I have always to concentrate and to focus, even knitting only these eyelets. And eyelets are very easy, as you know. It's only decreasing in yarn overs, but yeah, I like to get it right at the first place and not thinking back and so on. So yeah, I can recommend focusing on what you do. And also I think it's very healthy, I mean mental healthy, to sometimes do only one thing at a time. I was realizing before I was heading out to Germany and I was working on the lace and turned off everything, shut the door and the window, and I was only focusing on this. And I was thrown back to my thoughts because I had many thoughts in my head. If will be everything all right travel-wise, and how will the seminar be, and how my co-students will be, and then some things regarding the new school year. So there were many thoughts in my head whirling around, and I wasn't distracted from them. And I think we should face these thoughts more often, and we would do that if we sat in our room or in the forests or somewhere else in silence and do nothing. Or if you do something like handcraft, don't turn on music, don't turn on the TV, don't turn on Netflix or an audiobook. Just do something with your hands and let your thoughts flow and make something with you. I have realized that again. It wasn't comfortable. I'm totally honest here. It wasn't comfortable at all, but it was important. And I think, yeah, I have to make time for silent times again. Yeah, to refocus, to find the middle and not distract yourself from uncomfortable thoughts, because they need to get solved, right? You have to work with yourself, in my opinion. Especially if you have a job which affords that you have much to do with other people. I'm a teacher, so I have always to do with other people. I'm always communicating, I'm always interacting, and that's the reason why I like to be alone when I come home. I really enjoy the alone time, silent time, being for myself and refocus myself again. Yeah, you know that already if you have watched some episodes. Yeah, I have knit the washed out with 3.5mm needles by Higher Sharps. So Higher Sharps I have used, and I think normal cord length, I think 80 centimeters or so. Don't ask me what this is in inch, because I speak metric system, as Lily says. Lily from the Nordic Stitches podcast said once in her podcast, I only speak metric system, and I like that very, very much how she was saying that. Yeah, is there something else to talk about? No, that was The Washed Out by Whole Locatelli. My next work in progress is my Hume or Hume or whatever. I don't know how to pronounce. One viewer commented that she heard a podcaster saying like Hume. I don't even know which language this word is, so I have no clue. I only know that the designer is a German lady, so who knows? Hume, whatever. It's my fluff goodness or so, I would call it, because I have made it to the hem. I have finished the hem, so I will show you the front first. It is an oversized pullover, as you can see, and when I last showed you, I stopped where you see the marker. It's always, I always have to check if you see everything. Okay, and I was pretty much monogamously knitting on this because it is so lovely to work with this yarn. I have done stockinette stitch until I have reached the hem. I have knit the body, I would say 3 or 4 centimeters longer because I wanted it to really be oversized and long and slouchy and everything. And then the pattern is calls for a twisted rib, but you only twist the knit stitch, not the purl stitch, because twisting the purl stitch, no, it's not fun at all. I mean, it was very heavy on my hands. I don't enjoy making twisted rib, but it is so much neater. It's so pretty to do this. Because you have so straight and accurate knit stitches, yeah. And it has more strength or more body if you knit this way. And it feels good. Not like brioche, but it comes close. Yeah, so with this I have to say I haven't had the right tools for that, because I knit the pullover and the sleeves with 3mm needles, and so I need for the ribbing 2.5mm needles, but I only had a circular needle with 60 centimeters in length. You can see 80 would have been better, and the needles weren't as long as my other interchangeable needles, so and twisted ribbing, so it was very heavy on my hands and my arm was hurting, so I took my time. I stopped after a row, did something else, so that was slow progress on the hem, but it was worth it because it is so pretty. And I have already picked up the underarm stitches. You were totally right, everything was fine. I had to pick up stitches on the cast on edge because I had to cast on several stitches after separating for the sleeves. And at the moment I'm doing magic loop because I want to be more comfortable with magic loop. And although I'm a DPN girl, I don't like having so much fabric to shift all the time, shift around. And with magic loop you only have to do it once per round. With DPNs you have to do it 4 times per round, so that's not so much fun and it slows me down, so magic loop. I tried several different needles for magic loop. I don't know if this is Eddie. It's made in Germany, so I guess it's Eddie, but it doesn't. Oh yes, it's Eddie. I don't know which Eddie needles. Nothing fancy, not the lace ones, simple Eddie circulars. And they are very nice because they have the perfect join. It's a fixed circular, not an interchangeable needle, and the needles are so fast. So linen and mohair with these Eddie metal needles, it's like a Ferrari or a Lamborghini or so, because it's so fast. If you're not so comfortable, you should use wooden needles or bamboo needles. Yeah, so the join is perfect. I have used the Knit Pro Symphonies. The joins aren't so nice. It was very scratchy when I was shifting the stitches onto the needle. And there was another needle, I think a no-name needle I have used, not nice. Here you can feel nothing. So the join is very good. No problems here. I have knit 2 or 3 rounds and stopped because I wanted to knit on my test knit again, and I needed a little break from this. Yeah, so maybe I can again, the dog is sleeping on my feet. That makes it difficult to stand up. Okay, Benny, danke. I will stand up and show you how long this is. Benny, geh mal weg. Geh mal weg. And again, the yarns I'm using is 1 strand of Sandnesgarn Tynn thin linen in German, and silk mohair, because mohair without alpaca. Now you can find many blends without alpaca, but a few years ago every mohair had alpaca inside, and I can't wear alpaca on my skin, unfortunately. I don't know if I'm allergic to alpaca or if just the way the hair is constructed, I don't know. It's very itchy for me, so I can't wear alpaca, unfortunately. But these two together, awesome. Oh yes, and by the way, I have washed the washed out. Okay, that was funny. The washed out with my new soap. And I have received from Kathleen. Okay, this is the old soap by Tuft Woolens. This is the new one, North Shore. Whew, that was a mouthful. And yeah, this is a soap tray, as I thought before. It works very well, and this soap is awesome. It smells very good. You don't need much for such a big shawl, so very, very good. I can recommend this. Oh, it smells so good. I don't know, I told you, I'm triggered to this. This makes something with me. I don't know what this reminds me of, but it makes me very excited and yeah, and happy. I have this in my room because it's dry already and it smells so good. It's a very nice air freshener for your room. Let's talk knit-alongs, or let's say make-alongs, because I think I will always call them knit-alongs, but crocheting is also always welcome, because if I use the abbreviation MAL, you might think it's a mystery knit-along, or is it then MKAL? When I use, for example, fall mall, I don't know if you could misunderstand this. Please, native speaker, tell me if I use, for example, instead of fall along or fall call, KAL, if I use MAL, is it crazy? Do you think of something negative when you hear that? I don't know. I think of, yeah, it doesn't sound, I don't know, it sounds wrong in my ears, but please correct me. Okay, all my make-alongs, all my knit-alongs are always make-alongs. September 1st we will start the fall along, because fall is my favorite season and we have this as a tradition since this podcast is existing. We are doing the fall and the advent along every year, and I enjoy it every year and you enjoy it every year, so we will do this every year. What is the fall along? For the fall along, which goes from September 1st until October 31st, you are invited to knit along with us typical fall items or items in typical fall colors. For example, wine red or red in general, orange, brown, cream, I don't know. When you hear fall, what colors come to your mind? Fall typical items would be garments, for example, heavier sweaters or sweaters, long-sleeved sweaters in general, long sleeve. I think cropped, it's so fashion at the moment to wear short-sleeved crop woolen pullovers. I don't get the idea of that, because when will you wear that? In the summer it's too hot for a woolen sweater, even if it's short sleeved and cropped. And in the winter, it's very cold, so I don't get the idea of these cropped pullovers. I don't get it. So a cardigan, a long sleeve pullover, socks, hats, scarves, shawls are always okay. So typical fall objects or and fall colors. You can find everything about the along in our Ravelry group. I haven't opened the thread now. It's still closed because September 1st it starts. We have one thread for everything, finished objects, whips, cheddar. Whips are always allowed if you have started already something which would fit in the make along. Yeah, join us. I'm not that strict with these rules. You can win even if you haven't finished it or if you have used a whip. I will co-host this with Nina from the This Old Knit podcast. She will also open a thread. You can absolutely double dip. You can post in my group and in her group. And I like to co-host with her because she has one of my favorite podcasts and I like her very much. And it's always nice to, I don't know, to fusion the community of two podcasts. I always like that. So I hope some Nina viewers come to me and I hope some of my viewers come to her. And if you haven't watched her podcast, check her out. She has so lovely projects. She is so talented. She is knitting all the color works and the sweaters and she is brilliant, really. And she has such a lovely yarn stash. It's always very nice to see her yarns in the background. I enjoy this very much. So that is the fall along starting September 1st. And just a forecast, September 15th, our Harry Potter make-along will start. With this make-along, it's also very easy. You can knit Harry Potter patterns, so something Harry Potter related in the pattern name or the object itself. For example, Ravenclaw mittens or a Gryffindor scarf or something in that range. Or something inspired by garments in the movies, for example. I have seen some pullovers which are very similar to, I don't know, Hermione's and I think Sirius pullovers. Yeah. Or the colorway name is Harry Potter inspired. I will add a bundle of Harry Potter patterns in the thread, so if you need inspiration you can hop over to our group and watch and see what the others are doing or look through my bundle. And for that I will also promote a new pattern by Lily from the Nordic Stitches podcast and designs. You can find her Ravelry store by searching Nordic Stitches in the designer tab or patterns tab. And I'm test knitting at the moment a crescent shaped shawl designed by her. It's more a recipe than a pattern, and that's what I like about it so much. She has designed it for using 3 colors and fingering weight yarn, but you can use every yarn weight. You can use how many colors you want. You can use 1 color, you can use your leftovers minis, you can use 2 colors, 5 colors, whatever. You can use it as a stash buster. It's so up to you, and that's what I like about this pattern so much, and I talked about it very much in detail last episode. And I can't show you the design. I think she will show her design very soon in a few days, but I will show you my colors again. I will scrunch everything up. Yeah. I love this so much. It's so pretty. Yeah, and she encouraged me, or this pattern, this recipe encouraged me to be a little bit more free-minded about my yarn choices. They are not the same yardage. So the one is DK, the other one is more a sport weight yarn, and I use 4 different colors, and I used 1 mini and 1 full skein, and the other ones are leftovers. The one is a fingering leftover, but I will hold it double to create a DK weight, and it goes so well with this pattern. You can be so creative within little rules or few rules to be safe that it will be a pretty shawl. So awesome. Crescent shaped shawl inspired by Harry Potter. I won't say the pattern name. it is still a surprise, and it would be awesome for our knit along. Yeah, and the week before publishing, so she will publish September 15th. That's why I started on that day. And the week before in the podcast, I will give away one pattern copy. So I will invite you to comment on the future video, and for the September 15th, you might win this pattern. And for the ones who don't win, hop over to and buy it, because it's really worth it, and you can make so many different shawls out of this pattern. Yeah. Good. So now we come to blathering. I won't blather too long because I have much to do. I'm heading out for a wedding very soon to Styria. I have to pack all my things, and because we're having an apartment, not a hotel, so we need some stuff for making food to be able to cook there. You know, you have to take with you everything. But I'm more the apartment type of traveler. I don't like hotels so much. I like my freedom, you know, and I don't want to be forced to talk with foreign people. I don't want to make friends when I'm on holiday. I have many friends, I don't need more. Well, I have very good friends, so I don't need like so many friends. And vacancy or holiday friends or friendship is always weird in my opinion. So sorry. Yeah. So on the weekend, last weekend, my boyfriend and I were attending a soccer match again. We lost again because that's what Escarapit is doing. They are losing games, but it's always a fun experience and very interesting to be in the stadium. I told you, it's something very interesting. Also, like to observe this as a social event. Soccer unites so many different types of people. Upper class, lower class, middle class, girls, boys, women, men. It's very interesting. So I can insert some videos of some footage here, because it was like, I don't know, the fan club had like an anniversary or so. So they had some kind of performance during the match and during the break in between the two halves of the match, and that was, yeah, not my taste. I don't like skulls so much, but it was impressive in my opinion, and it must be very expensive, and they do that from their own money, because that's not what the club is doing. It's the fan club, not the soccer club, but the fan club is doing that with their money, and it's very time intensive to prepare these performances. It was very breathtaking in my opinion, and yeah, it was a good experience again. And the other club we were playing against, yeah, they were much better. It was a pleasure to watch them playing soccer. It was so nice, and how they were, that strategy, and because we had no strategy. I don't know what's wrong with Rapid, but I hope we will get better soon, because it's like, yeah, this soccer club is local to where I live, so I have to support them, and I like to do that. Yeah, it was nice. The beer was delicious, the sausage was delicious, and there were many people. I think we were 20,000, about-ish, 20,000 viewers, and it's always interesting to hear the songs, to see how people are reacting to decisions of the Schiedsrichter. German word of the day, Schiedsrichter, the guy who's checking that everything is fair play. Yeah, screen for English word. I don't know how it's called, really. I'm not sure. Yeah, needless to say that it's always unfair when he is deciding, or he is so stupid. It's interesting. Or how people react to a goal, for example. It's so nice to see the happiness and how proud they are and how involved people are in that match. I'm not so much into that, because I'm not so much into this soccer club, but if Germany is playing against another country, for example, I'm so emotional and it's, yeah. I have to say, I have to compare it to war. It feels like war, fighting against each other and being proud of your country or proud of your city or something. It is a little weird. I mean, war in a not positive way. And war is never positive, right? So it's fascinating me that a game, a match is setting free so many emotions and deep emotions. That is very interesting for me. So I'm watching the soccer game, I'm watching the match, but I think I watch people more because it's interesting for me. So that was our weekend, and during the week I was writing at my master's thesis because I'm so close to be done with this, and preparing our liturgy for a school start. We always have not a Holy Mass because it's without Eucharist. What is it called if you don't have a Eucharist? It's difficult because I'm Catholic and we don't celebrate a Catholic Holy Mass because we are not only Catholics in school. So I really don't know what is the name. So we worship about an hour and the new students will get blessed, and so I had to prepare everything for that. And copying all the stuff for the new school year, the first 2 or 3 weeks. I think I have copied everything. It's always nice to be well prepared so you have more time in the afternoon. And the first 2 or 3 school weeks are always very intense. You have much paperwork to do, and yeah, I still have to do paperwork for my new contract, believe it or not. It's always, yeah, labor intense, but it's worth it because I love my job. And then when I was in school, yesterday preparing for the school start, it felt so good because it will be the first year I will return to the same school. I have worked so this will be my 4th year being a teacher, and the first 2 years I was in 2 different schools. My last year was in my new school, and that's the first time I'm returning to the same school. It's the first time that I will only have to learn the new student's name and not the names of all the students of the school, so not 200 or 300 names to memorize, and I know where everything is, and it's the small things, you know. I know how the copy machine does work. I know how the coffee machine works. That's important. I know who everyone is. I know my colleagues. I know everything. I know the traditions of the school. It's so much easier to return to your old school than every year having a new school. I hope this will be my school until retirement. Yeah, it's nice, and I love my school so much. My colleagues are so nice, my students are so nice, the parents are so nice. So it's a win for me to teach at this school. It's very lovely, and the nature around my school is so lovely because it's in the Vienna woods. I love the Vienna woods. I'm not teaching in Vienna, in Lower Austria. Yeah, so I will stop blathering here. I'm not sure if I will be able to put out an episode next week, because next week will be school start. We will see how much time I will have for knitting or for podcasting, but I will try my best. So I wish you a very lovely knitting, crocheting week. Do what you love. Take time for yourself, and bye bye.